24/7, 361 degrees. How y'all feeling? Cool. Salutations to the primes. Peace to you and yours. Peace to everybody that's going to come in the building. Wherever you watching, state your name, put it in the comment section. You are relevant. If you can hear me loud and clear, let me know. All right. Cool. Peace to everybody. Let me make sure I get a good mic check before I begin. And we're going to start this off, right? Peace. We good? Peace to the messiahs. Let me set it up. Cool. 1 2 1 2 mic check. Okay, mic check, mic check, mic check. Setting up the stream. So, like I said, I just want to make sure it's clear before I begin and make sure everyone can hear me loud and clear before I begin. For some reason, I'm not seeing some of the Facebook comments. So I don't know what's going on with that. Peace to everybody. Peace to the family. YouTube, Facebook, wherever you watching. Cool. Salutations to the primes. Oh man, can you hear me? 1 2 1 2 1 2. Mic check. Mic check. Mic check. All right. Thank you. Can y'all hear me now? 1 2. Mic check. Mic check. All right. Oh, that was crazy. Y'all couldn't hear me. I felt like I really had something important to say. What's up? All right, y'all coming in here. What's up, Coom? Salutations. Peace to the primes. Peace to everybody coming in. State your name, put it in the comment section. You are relevant. And if my microphone is really if y'all can hear me, just let me know. Everything is clear. All right. That's cool. That's really cool. So we back in effect. Coom, salutations to the primes. Peace to everybody. I like to introduce myself formally for everybody that's coming in here for the for the first time. If this is your first time seeing a video, this is your first time connecting with yours truly, I'm going to just formally introduce myself. All right, I am Solar Prime Supreme 131 Lazarus Lamel of the Messiah Code Movement, as well as the Thuwalu Tribe. What is a Messiah? A Messiah is a leader or a savior of a particular group or a cause. Very simple. We don't have to get real religious. We don't have to get real spooky. Y'all don't have to be doing anything crazy. All right, let's just keep it basic. A leader or a savior of a particular group or a cause. But a Messiah is, in these days and times, a Messiah is actually one who is preparated for war. For real. The war is raging within, day in and day out. And you got to be the one to persevere, if anything I can tell you. For whatever you deem is righteous, whatever is balanced within a universe, you really must persevere. And as Messiahs, you are laced with 7 weapons. And these 7 weapons actually equip you for this war that you may face day in and day out. So you got the rod, the staff, the arrow, the bow, the sword, and then the laser. And then after that, you have the hammer. Those are your 7 weapons as a Messiah. Now, these 7 weapons are also aligned with the 7 principles that are connected with the 7 days, or the 7 heavenly abodes of one consciousness, because we begin with the mind. And after the mind, we move on to correspondence, which is as above, so below. And then from there, we move on to vibration. And then from vibration, we go to polarity. And then after polarity, it's rhythm. And then after rhythm, it's cause and effect. All right? And then after that, it's gender. And all of these are the 7 principles of one's consciousness, but all of these operate within oneness. They operate simultaneously. All right? So like I said, I like to thank everyone coming in. This is the Purple Heart Squad. So this is going to be the Apotheosis series. And I'm going to be sharing with everyone great information on how to reach one's apotheosis. All right. And we're going to connect up in such a way that it's going to be revelational. You know, it's going to be epic. You know, codes are going to be cracked. These codes are going to be unlocked. We're truly going to be able to see the codex for what it's worth. And like I said, every day we're just growing. Every day we're growing. So, apotheosis. Peace. Yeah, let's Gary start this off. Let's Gary begin.
Welcome to the Purple Heart Squad Special Edition.
Apotheosis. I know that I'm chosen. I know that I'm potent. I keep it in motion, they ain't keep me frozen. I'm shining, I'm golden. Apotheosis. I know that I'm potent. I walk the chosen. I'm wearing these totems. I'm shining, I'm golden. I keep it in motion. Apotheosis. I know that I'm chosen. I know that I'm potent. I keep it in motion, they ain't keep me frozen. I'm shining, I'm golden. Apotheosis. I know I'm important. I walk the chosen. I'm wearing these totems. I'm shining, I'm golden. I keep it in motion. Apotheosis.
Cool. All right. Peace to the Messiah. 747 24/7 361 degrees. So we are in the place to be. Today's date in the codex is actually 2/24/22. All right. If you in the YouTube watching, state your name, put it in the comment section. You in the Facebook, TikTok, wherever you watching, put it in the comment section. You are relevant. It's all love. It's all love. What's going on, y'all? So now, let me see something real quick. Again, I like to formally introduce myself for everyone that is just beginning, just beginning to connect up, and excuse me, yeah. For everybody that's just connecting up for the first time, I like to formally introduce myself. I am Solar Prime Supreme 131 Lazarus Lamel of the Messiah Code movement, as well as the Dualu tribe. All right. So, how are y'all feeling today or tonight, wherever you are on the planet? Shout out to the Purple Heart Squad. Thank you, Sister Lisa, coming in the building. I really appreciate it. Thank you, everybody that's watching across the universe. You know, it's a galactical moment. It's a special moment for us to really connect up and for us to really, you know, identify with the idea of what the Messiah Code represents. All right. And I really, if anything I can tell you, I really feel blessed to share this energy with you. All right. So what I would like to bring forth from the beginning of this is I'm gonna pull up, I want to pull up the memorandum, and I want to go from the memorandum of the Messiah Code. You can get that book. You can get this book right here. You can go grab it on Amazon. It's only $13 or whatever. You can just go grab it. All right. All right. This is the Messiah Code. It's a very good book just to digest. All right. But let me just share the information with you, more or less, just to connect the thoughts up, essentially. All right. So when we go to the memorandum, look, my fault. So the memorandum, it starts off like this: there is no beginning, there is no ending, only harukment, movement. All right. The moment you think you arrived at the beginning, you already completed something. Life is a loop of continuum, cycles, feeding cycles. All right. So we know that we don't move in a circle. We move in a cycle of things. That's why it's for you to master the 361 degrees in a circle as opposed to 360. See, 360 degrees doesn't count you as the observer who collapses the particle into a wave. Literally, you densify a physical a mental thought, you bring it into reality through a material substance. And this is how you collapse the particle into the wave. If you have a thought and you put it in the universe, it solidifies itself in some form of way. All right. So that's what it's all about when we talk about the 361 degrees within a circle. And that same circle, you stand within the middle in the center of it. All right. Now, you do interact with other circles, so it's not just about yourself, if anything. And everything works like an ecosystem as well. If anything, I can say like that. It has a rhythmic approach to how it 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 exists with other things. It has a cohesive approach of how it connects with other things. But when we talk about movement, harukment, we talk about how everything is in movement. Everything's growing. Everything is like, if you think about the sun, if you think about the earth, you think about yourself. Everything is literally in movement. Nothing is still. Nothing sits still. Okay? But when we talking about the life of continuums, we're talking about the cycles feeding cycles. See, you're moving up a spiral. You're not going in a circle. Some people are going in a circle, meaning that they're doing things repetitively over and over again until they learn. And once they learn, they're able to spiral up. See, we descended down so we could spiral back up again. All right. So what people call spiritual awakening is just the system rebooting. A command was entered long ago, and now your soul is responding to it. This is not new. It's a memory resurfacing, and that's one of the things I tell people. I say, look, I'm not teaching you anything. I'm really sharing something with you because literally is designated for you. This is why you're gravitated towards the message. It's designated for you. So it's not mine alone. Literally, we are like water. And what is water? Water is always trying to get back to a greater body of water. So when you connect with this information in such a way, when you connect with it in such a way where it connects with your heart, it connects with your mind, it connects with the rhythmic approach of how you live life, then that's the corresponding factor of what this represents. Okay, so yes, so what people call spiritual awakening is what is just is just is just spiritual awakening is just the system rebooting. The command was entered long ago, and now your soul is responding to it. This is not new. It's memory resurfacing. All right. And it says what? Watch this. This is something important for everybody to get when we talk about the Messiah. When we talk about the Messiah, this is the most important thing to get essentially to the message, because the Messiah is not a figure to worship, but a principle to awaken. It is the intelligent design within, the divine function that runs in the background of your being, waiting for full access. Waiting for full access. All right. So hear me out. When we talk about apotheosis, you want me to look up the meaning of apotheosis real quick? I'm going to show y'all something. See, words really unlock something. I know somebody said, man, I never heard of that word, apotheosis. I know somebody said, man, I never even heard of that word, apotheosis. The moment you heard of the word apotheosis, is the moment it unlocks something within you. From me revealing the word to you, it unlocks something within you, in the utilization of how we're utilizing it in such a way. So apotheosis, it means the highest point in the development of something, in culmination or climax. All right. And it goes even deeper, because it would be the highest state of elevation. It would be your highest state. It's like when one becomes a god, essentially. This is apotheosis, but it's really your highest state. See, that's what you are reaching, or you are communicating with. You are really communicating with your highest state. All right? And your lower state is going up to the highest state. All right? Going up to your apotheosis. All right? So the Messiah is not a figure to worship, but a principle to awaken. It is the intelligent design within, the divine function that runs in the background of your being, waiting for full access. All right? And that's when we talk about this body right here, because this body right here is full access. When we talk about the Messiah, this is full access. The other body, this body right here, is not full access. This is us. This is the body of manifestation right here. This is us manifested together, the 1 through 31. Everybody between the 1 through 31. Excuse me. I think I got it right there. There it is. The 1 through 31. That's everybody in manifestation right there. We collectively form that body. If I ask everyone, well, what is your log date? This is how you logged in space and time. Like, you literally was not born. You chose to come into this reality. You chose to log in time and space. You chose to come in this age of what we call information. And the numbers are how you logged in this space. The numbers, how you resonated with that idea. That's what it's really all about. All right. And now the numbers is what created a NTP, or network time protocol. And I'm going to show y'all the meaning of network time protocol as well. All right. So we can qualify that. Okay. So you are not broken. When we talk about this, you are not broken. You are layered. The pain, the doubts, the emotion, the breeze. These are corrupted files from a compromised program. Healing is simply debugging the system. It's really debugging the system. You know, sometimes we got to check ourselves. If anything, I can tell you, a lot of times we got to check ourselves, and we got to say, you know what? I really don't need you to check me, but I really got to check myself, because, you know, I'm out of order, and I need to get in formation. And when I mean get in formation, I'm not just talking about knowledge. I'm talking about literally getting in order, following direction. You know what I mean? It's a protocol to certain things, and how we must follow these things is an order. All right. If anything, I can share with you what the Messiah code is. The Messiah code resonates with all numbers that operate between 1 and 31, and each one of those numbers operate and have a personality of sort. And all of those numbers have a designated avatar that is associated with it. All right. I'm gonna show y'all. These are the avatars that are associated with the 1 through 31. Every number that operates between 1 and 31, here is the personal avatar for it. Now, I know a lot of time, look, screenshot it, do whatever you got to do with it right now. But if anything, you know, what I want to tell you is that this information is profound. People keep on looking back so far. You looking back so far instead of looking within. I'm so serious. Like, a lot of people keep on trying to identify with something that happened 2,000, 3,000, 100,000 years ago, instead of something that identifies with what's happening now. Listen, you are the gods, the goddesses, the kings, the queens, the emperors, the empresses, all of those things that will be admired, worshiped, and adorned thousands of years from now. You just must recognize who you are in these days and time. And if you don't, you will be washed away within the shores of reality. and you will never know your greatness. You'll never know how great you truly are and how special and remarkable you are as a Messiah. All right. If anything I ever shared with you. So, you know your birthday. Your birthday is somewhere located within this codex. Within this syntax, your personal avatar is located there. Now, you might say you're born between the 1 and 31. Now, those 1 and 31 numbers have a connection with each one of those personal avatars in the age of information. And each one of them have a personal duty to perform as a Messiah within these days and time. All right. So let me continue. Every experience is a file. Some are compressed. Yeah, some are compressed. Some are encrypted. Okay. Look, some are compressed. Some are encrypted. Some you've deleted but didn't fully erase. Ooh, you deleted but you didn't fully erase. The Messiah Code walks you back through the archive so you can choose what stays and what gets rewritten. See, a lot of, man, look, this is deep. When when this speaks of this talks about like the people that took the blue pill in the Matrix. You know what I'm saying? And the red pill in the Matrix. All right? These people that took these pills in the Matrix, something happened to them truly different than what you think. All right? Because a lot of things that people need to grow from, look, if they don't, when they reach apotheosis, which is their highest state, when they're bound to crack and then resurface and then go back down and then have to do it over again. Look at this. What happens is these files, they become compressed, not deleted. That you think they're deleted, but they're not fully erased. Meaning that, like, some people go through certain situations and then they just hide them. They put it in their mind and they walk with it, and they're still going. They still dealing with these problems, and they haven't even healed from these problems. All right, but you might be a test in that person's life for them to heal from that problem. But if they haven't healed from that problem, they'll walk with it. They'll continue to walk with it, but they'll depress it or compress it in some sort of way. Sometimes people do that with phobias, with certain things that they're truly afraid of. They compress those files, and you may think it's deleted, but it's not. It's not fully erased. And it just needs one thing to happen in order for it to literally unfold itself. So that's what this is talking about. All right. Now, morality is the spiritual equivalent to system logic. Without structure, the code collapses. Righteousness is not a rule book. It's how you align your internal network to what? Transmit clean data. Because data is DNA. Look, every time we have a discussion with us, our DNA changes. When you get DNA, when DNA or data is entered into your logic or into your code, guess what? It changes your sequence. It changes your formality of how you exist. However you interpret that DNA or that data is how your data or DNA develops. All right, for real. That's important to know. So emotions are signals. Guilt is a firewall. Forgiveness is what? Is reset. Love is an open channel. When your system is out of sync, your feelings will alert you. Listen, don't suppress the code. Excuse me. Don't suppress the code. Yeah. Excuse me. Let me go back to that. So emotions are signals. Guilt is a firewall. Forgiveness is a reset. Love is an open channel. When your system is out of sync, your feelings alert you. When your system is out of sync, your feelings will alert you. Listen, don't suppress, decode. Think for a second. Take a moment. If anybody would ask what this Messiah Code is about, look, I can break down the lessons from 1 through 31, how each number resonates with each person. But let's break down the fundamental principles of how the Messiah Code functions, essentially. How the body's supposed to function in harmony. All right? So the 1 through 31 are not just steps, they are command lines. Like you programming something, command line. Each one runs a unique process, unlocking deeper consciousness if you execute them with what? Intention. Not only intention, with awareness. All right? So everything that we do has an intention to it. Everything that we focus on in regards to learning these lessons in life has an intention assigned to it. Your intentions, look, when I explain in this book, The Cube, when I explained in this book, I talked about how you turn into the AM radio, because AM stands for amplitude modulation, but it really is, to keep it simple, is really talking about your heart, because your heart is like really sending a signal out, a pulse wave into the ionosphere. All right. And with that, you have a ferromagnetic attraction, not to just alloys, but to people, places, and things. All right. All of these things are really connected to one another. Now, the Messiah Code, it works like that. We're operating from the dot here. I want you to think of your numbers. I want you to think of how you resonate with this body, because we need to bring the body together collectively so we can operate in wholeness. All right. You know, it's not about calling upon any God by a name. It's about calling upon that same force by a number. And that number is oneness, or wholeness, rather. It's not just saying oneness, because when you say oneness, you think of singularity or individualism. We're not talking about that. We're talking about wholeness, how things operate in harmony. Okay? So, the outer world is your projection screen. Look, if your internal programming is fear-based, you will enter distorted versions of reality. Reprogram the code, and the external world operates to match it. Hear me out. Hear me out. So, this is not superficial. I'm trying to tell you, this stuff is not superficial. A lot of people psychologically don't really think like this. They allow others to think for them. They allow others to think for them in such a way they decide what they are to be. And I'm telling you, you can't allow anything to decide what you are to be. Okay? Especially in regards to your happiness. You have to take hold of it in such a way. All right? You have to know that this is what you truly desire. And you will get, for anybody that has whatever, you will have the strongest test in order for you to reach that highest mountain, apotheosis. You will have the strongest test. And it's for you to move through those tests and to know that, yo, listen, these challenges or this challenge is designed for me. It's designed for my war. And you have to utilize those seven weapons. You can't look, you can't literally put those weapons down. You always got to keep those weapons handy. You know, if you drop your weapon from for a second, the enemy will grab it and destroy it. Because they know if you take hold of it such a way, you will destroy him. You will destroy them. All right? You will destroy her and you will destroy it. Hear me out. That's what it's all about. You got to pick up that rod. Yo, that rod was chastisement. People act like they get so high, like, oh, I'm so high with success that God ain't gonna chastise you. Like God got a special chastisement for you. Remember Job? He was very successful, but God had a real good chastisement for him. All right, but he held to in such a way in regards to the story. Now that's the rod. It's chastisement. When you all that in a bag of chips, should I say? I wouldn't say, if I can say it in a better way, I'm just saying you just really you have too much vanity in such a way. And some of us have vanity and we exercise that because one thing vanity looks for, it looks for way that's not earned. You know, you gotta earn your way with the people. You gotta earn your way in life. You gotta earn your way through whatever you do. You gotta earn your way. It can't be a vanity approach. You can't. It's not on face value. All right. These things come through hard work. Now, hard work doesn't mean you have to get your hands dirty, but it means dedication, being dedicated to such a thing. All right. But it's a chastisement designed for you, just like it's a chastisement designed for me. Then you got, after that, it's the rod, it's the staff. After the rod, it's the staff. And the staff deals with literally an example. It's the perfect example. All right, it's the perfect example when we talk about the staff. Because we lean on the staff. We walk like a lot of the prophets, they walk with the staff like they're leaning on the staff. But the staff wouldn't stand up if it wasn't for the person holding it. So this is what's important for you to know. You can't lean on the staff leans on you in order to animate itself to move. All right? To move in an erected manner. All right? And that's when you look at your staff. Your staff is in that same context. You lean on them, but they lean on you in such a way. In order for them to be animated. But the staff is the example. And we must be the example. We must know that everybody's watching. Like when you doing foolery, when you doing stuff that is out of character, you got to remember who's watching. That's why I don't participate in certain things. Let me keep it real. Certain things I don't really participate when it comes to like on the internet and stuff like that. In our hand manual, it tells us that we're really not supposed to have internet beefs or stuff like that, or discussions with people where it's argumentative. This is in our hand manual. It tells us that. Okay? Because these things are unhealthy for your spirit. And it ain't going to do nothing but make it worse and worse. Because you think you're going to it's like you're going to be serving the devil and the devil's going to be serving you, and if for lack of better words, the devil or opposition. Y'all be serving each other. Y'all be giving energy to each other because misery loves company. But after the staff, you got the arrow. And then the arrow is about direction. See, the bow didn't come before the arrow. And a lot of people say bow and arrow, but it's arrow and bow when we talk about the 7 weapons of the Messiah. When we breaking down these 7 weapons of the Messiah, we're talking about something extraordinary because in essence, you got the rod, you got the staff, and then you got the arrow. And like I said, the arrow is for direction. Because if you got a staff of people and you got people that you are leading by example, you are leading them by example, guess what? You need a direction to take these people. You really need a direction to take these people. That's why you get the arrow after you get the staff. Because the staff represents, it represents you being the example, all right? But if you are going to be the example, you must lead these people in the right direction. And that same direction represents the arrow, all right? And that's what, when we talk about, I break that down with the box. How, when we give reference to the box, a lot of people kick up against the wall and the walls will close up against you because the wall is law backwards and it's designed for you to kick up against it, and thus it will get smaller, all right? But if you know the certain direction to take yourself, you wouldn't be kicking up against the wall or the law in such a way. You know what you'll be doing? Spiraling up to what? The cornerstone. Because the weakest point in that structure of a box or thinking out of the box is the cornerstone. And that cornerstone represents the prism. And the prism is the same thing that the light is shining through. That light is intellect. And we dwell within the 7 arrays, illustrious rays of that light. All right. And those 7 lights are representing the 7 degrees of consciousness, what I gave you earlier. All right. They're all simultaneously connected in such a way. They all link together in harmony. When God said it was good in the Bible from 1 through 31, if you notice, the first chapter of the Bible has only 31 verses. It only has 31 verses because that is what? Aleph Lamb. That is the Aleph Lamb. That is El. El is 31. El is 31. The Aleph Lamed. All right? It's 31. Now, the 1 through 31 represented the original sequence of time. It represented the original sequence of time. Why do you think they got 31 days and some months? Because it represents the original sequence of time. How they balance it in such a way. All right? Because it doesn't move like how you think in symmetry. Yeah, things are locked in symmetry, but you break the symmetry. You're here to break that same symmetry. All right? To think outside of the box, to shatter the cube. That's what you're here for. That's why you operate from the dot, 361 degrees in rotation. All right? So when we talk about the Purple Heart, and I'm going to bring this back to the Purple Heart squad, okay? Because I gave y'all the 7 weapons, and we're at the arrow, okay? And the arrow, the direction must point, it is always pointing at your heart. It's always pointing at your heart. Listen, when you go down and pray, look, this is in the 7 weapons of the Messiah. Watch this, look. It creates an arrow. People looking for the direction. You looking for where to go, the direction to go. And I'm going to show you where to go, because here's the arrow right here. When you go down and pray like that, you actually protect your head from scarring from the ground. For real, for real. And you actually connect up with synaptic nerves rather than banging your head on there on the ground. You connect up with synaptic nerves because you're using your hands. And those same hands flow up almost like a tree, like how water flows up a tree to your heart, and it connects in such a way. You know, a lot of people, when they became God, when they thought they reached their apotheosis, when they became at this level, they stopped doing things like praying, and they stopped doing things like just praying for other people in such a way. They really stopped believing in or thinking outside of the box. But I'm here to tell you this. All right? It's not essentially about prayer. It's really about a connection, a divine connection. Because a prayer is a solemn request. But when you have that solemn request, you're not really asking something for yourself. You asking it for someone else. And if you ask it for someone else solemnly, you'll receive it unto yourself. I'm trying to tell you. This is the power of messiahship. For all you messiahs, you got to watch what you're doing. Do not curse people. Because if you curse someone, you're going to end up cursing yourself. You shouldn't do certain things or say certain things in a way where you're trying to curse someone, because those same curses are going to come back on you in such a way. Because the devil knows your power. Why you think the devil tempts you in such a way? I'm trying to tell you, the devil, or what you call the force of opposition, is there to tempt you. And there to tempt you to use your power. Think about it. Like, for instance, like this. Let me give y'all one. Right? Let's say God blessed a man with brute strength. Brute strength. This man has brute strength. Now he thinks it's his destiny to be a football player. But God gave him, the stature, brute strength, not for him to be a football player, but for him to be a protector of the community. I'm so serious. For him to save people that are in a certain state, so he's able to pull them out because he has the strength to pull them out. The universe designed such a man for a thing like that. All right? Keep it real. But he may want to be a football player and not knowing that, the real strength is when God put a book in his hand, when the universe put that same book in his hand, and he's lifting that book to his face, and it became like a calisthenic. And now he's working on his biceps. Because why? He's lifting a book to his face time in, over and over again. These are the true lessons of the Messiah. These are the true lessons. And in order to work on your strength, you got to know it's like a calisthenic. All right? How many times you going to have to lift this book to your face for you to truly get what the master was sharing with us? I'm trying to tell you. I pray. You know what I pray for? I pray for to be humble, because I know my power. I really pray to be so humble in such a way, because I know the divine power that's over me in such a way. When you know these things, you move in such a way that guess what? Guess what? It's like I don't know, man. You're really anointed. You're really anointed. And this is real apotheosis. This is really truly reaching that apotheosis. And it's not saying that you you're not going to make mistakes, or you're not going to have, you know, different things going on along the way. But it's not for you to keep on worrying about those mistakes. It's for you to grow from those mistakes and utilize those mistakes as stepping stools in order for you to step up your game and reach that apotheosis. All right. So we at the arrow. After the arrow, what you get the bow. Because we talk about the 7 weapons of the Messiah, right? The rod, the staff, the arrow, and then the bow, right? So we at number 4, which is the bow. And that bow, you know what it represents? I'm going to tell you this. This is something that I had to really, really, really learn, especially when I got on the internet. For a lot of y'all newbies on this internet life and trying to be teachers or whatever, or inspirational, motivational speakers, know this. When you having certain personal problems, you got to know how to cock back, because the bow, guess what the bow does? It pulls back. And the amount of how you pull back that bow is how stronger it is. Like, let's say if I just do a quick release of a bow, whap, the arrow's not going to go that far. But if I do a strong contemplative release, what's going to happen? The arrow is going to go as far as possible. I want you to think about that when it comes to certain things that's going on in your life. Like, you can't be so quick to react. A lot of people are so quick to react, and thus that is your first mistake. That's your first mistake. If we talk about the 7 weapons of the Messiah, if we talking about we dealing with Messiahship, you can't be so quick to react. You got to be strategic. You got to be so strategic that when you strike, it is fatal. If you strike. All right? If you are to strike, you strike fatal. It's very fatal. Okay? But what I'm telling you is that you don't have to really do all that stuff. You make sure that you're in contemplative thought when it comes to certain things. And that's what the bow is about. But remember, the bow is not really in your hand. The bow is really on your neck. It's in your neck, like how the bow tie was on one's neck. The bow, it represented tying the knot. It represented keeping your word in such a way. That's what it represented. That's why it's on your neck, and the words shoot from your neck. And these are the 7 weapons of the Messiah. So after that, you get what? You get the sword. Now remember, watch this. The sword is not what you think it is. Because when people knew that it was the sword in one of the 7 weapons of the Messiah, they were so quick in a way to think of themselves like to chopping people down, like coming with offensive words to really chop people down in such a way. Ooh, I got the truth. I got the truth. I got the truth. Ooh, 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 ooh. And man, come on, really? And you just want to chop people down with your truth in such a way. But it really wasn't about that. The sword, you wasn't given that type of sword. You was given a scalpel in your hand instead of a sword. Because it was for you not to be a killer, it's for you to be a healer. And you utilize that scalpel to cut people the right way instead of the wrong way. You start cutting people the right way. You cutting, you know what I'm saying? You cut people the right way. You cutting the infection, the cancer or whatever it is. You cutting that out. You performing surgery a certain way, removing certain things that don't need to be there. You cutting that out. But let me tell you, the pain runs so deep with those people. All right, that's why the scalpel is on your tongue. It's on your tongue as opposed as the sword being in your hand. The double-edged scalpel or sword is on your tongue in order for you to cut people the right way with your words. All right? And then after that, for real, you got the laser, because lasers is really lasers are us or Lazarus. All right? Lasers are us, because lasers of or us of us or Lazarus represents resurrection. That's what this is. That's what that is. That's the body of your resurrection right there. That is your star map. If anything I ever share with you, if anything that you ever got from me and you are looking for the way home, there it is. It's right there. It's right there. There it is, right there. That is the real star map, if anything I can tell you. That is mathematically sound, and it's nothing superficial about this information. Look at it. The 80s at the bottom, at the bottom represent all your directions, northeast, south, and west, or northeast, southwest, southeast, southwest. It represents all directions of the compass. Then you got the other one, which is the square, which represents northeast, south, and west. And those are on your feet. Look. Man. Let me see. I got this same image right here. Look, same image right here, y'all. This is the body of resurrection. The body of resurrection right there. That body breaks down so profoundly. You might say, yo, man, I don't know. It's like that movie Contact, because all of these things, you looking at them two-dimensionally, but it's really, they operate in a three-dimensional way. That's why I have a box there, and that's why there is a compass. That's why you see a compass and a protractor. You see a compass and a protractor right there on the body of the Messiah, the body of resurrection, because this is nothing religious about this stuff. This stuff ain't no joke. This stuff is really like heaven on earth. This is heaven on earth. This is our telephone connection. I told people, in order to get out, you first have to dial up the operator, and that operator is 1111. It's 1111. You know the dial 15 in binary is 1111. 1111. That's how you dial 15 in binary. And 15 is associated with what? Saturn. Saturn is who? Chronos, or chronology, the gateway to time itself. All right? That's what it was really all about. And that's why 11 it moves you to high noon, but that's when the Messiah takes over at 11 in the AM, IM, and at 11 post meridian. All right? That's when the Messiah takes over, because the Messiah operates on the 11th frequency, which is the king, which is also the 19th element on the periodical table. which makes your body move, which makes you heal in such a way. All right? And we can move even more past that, because when you think about this body right here, this that right there is the body. That's what we call the body of manifestation. And we all manifested. We all manifested on this earth or on this planet between the 1 and 31 numbers. And that's what formed this body right here collectively. That represents the body of manifestation. All right? And each one of those, like I broke that down, represents an avatar of sort. It represents, each one of those have a designated avatar associated with them. All right? It's how you utilize the information. Now, this has a philosophical approach in such a way, but it's really designated to math. It's really designated to math. All right? And if anything, what I would want to say, to bring it back to the dot, right? You know, you got to look at yourself as a dot. You know, the world needs something special. You don't got to be doing everything else somebody else is doing. You can find something that you would like to do that's special and add to the world and bring it to the world. That's what being the dot is all about. That's what being a dot in the 361 degree equation is all about. All right? It like for instance, let's say if the neighborhood, they may need a certain thing, a commodity of sort. You can be the one to provide that commodity for the neighborhood. All right? And thus you are the dot. You are the dot, and everything revolves around you within that circle. All right? Even deeper. Look, let me show y'all. So like I was saying, this is literally a star map. This is your way home, and this is the body of resurrection. Those are the other 69 numbers that operate up from 32 to 60, from 32 to 99. Now, Brother Blue Pill, he asked me a question, and I want to make it clear for everyone. He asked me, do compound figures actually have their own personality? Do they have a personality of sort of their own? All right, rather than adding up to one number. All right. And my answer to that very simply is that they do have a personality, but those personalities operate from 1 through 31. As we go up from 32 through 99, they represent degrees of correspondence of how the resurrection, or what the corporeal body of resurrection operates. That's what that represents, the 32 through 99. But the first 1 through 31, they have personalities that are connected to them, how the combination of numbers operate. All right? It's not just a 10 is a 1. It's not just 11 is a 2, or 12 is a 3, and so forth. It's actually a 12 is a combination of a 1 and 2, the personality of 1 and 2. All right. Thank you. Thank you for everybody tuning in. Peace. Thank you for everybody in the YouTube and the Facebook. I really appreciate the time, and I appreciate the love. All right. Are there any questions? Now, I do want to have a class on this body of resurrection and how to utilize it. That's what we should be talking about. And we're getting into the 90-day water fast and cleansing. And within the 90-day water fast and cleansing, once we get past 31 days, we start to learn those body parts of the body of resurrection. And that is important because every day is a revelation. I'm telling you, every day, like, I do my best to either broadcast, go live, or do something that's informational towards this. But essentially, you will feel how the sequence of days actually feel truly different. You'll feel it. Any questions or comments? Any questions or comments? It was definitely a great one. It was a great one. And it's 10:44 right now. Cool, and salutations to you and yours. I want to say thank you for your time. It's love. Look, man, we're here on the land. Let me say this real quick to y'all. We're here on the land, and it's been so good, y'all. It's really been a blessing. It's really been a blessing to really experience this, man. Me and my wife, we decided that we're gonna start getting up every morning super early and just work on the farm. And we say the farm, or Sha'um, which is the Holy Land, Sha'um. All right, but it would be considered a farm because we do have a farm now, and man, it's a different type of feeling, man. It's truly happiness. Now we are working on extending and building our family, and that's coming soon. That's really coming soon. You'll see children and you'll see different things happening in such a way because this is what we're tending to do. We're tending to grow. We're tending to extend our family, and I'll express that on another conversation. We'll express that in another conversation. But yeah, you're gonna see beautiful things happening if you're staying in tune with this journey, and hopefully our journey can be an inspiration for others. That's looking to do great things. You know, you know, I lean on this information. If anything, I can tell y'all, like, I go to this information when a lot of things get cloudy in my life. I go back to the codex and I figure out how to decipher and decide what to do on certain situations. And every time it has always put me in the best position in the best way. All right? And for real, like and I'm gonna say it has a morality to it that connects up with certain principles that would take one to their apotheosis. I lost the fear of certain things that I had with the world when it comes to this. Like I go out in the world in that place and I can go in utter darkness, and guess what? I feel at home and I feel safe because this information has always protected me. It's not a place that I don't go in this world that I don't feel safe. You understand that? It's places that you wouldn't understand that I go into, and I feel so safe. All right, I feel so blessed and honored to be a part of really our story rather than his story. This would be our story. So let it be told that we are the gods and goddesses that they will be worshiping thousands of years from now. Yeah, you are a god. You are a goddess. Yes, It's time to reach your apotheosis. It's time to free yourself from that cube. Not superficially. This is not a superficial thing. Like, it is exercises associated with a certain shape that would be your imprisonment. You got to know when you go to and fro to a place, you actually create a geometrical shape. And all of those things are associated with numbers. And those same numbers are a programmable reality. And this is not superficial, this is real. Men and women lie, numbers don't lie. You see these numbers popping up, you see things going over and over again, but yet you will deny these signs. And God or the universe will give you one of the greatest signs of them all, which is a stop sign. Which is a stop sign. And if you don't stop at that sign, you're bound to run into a collision. You're bound to have a collision with someone. All right? So I'm telling you, if you got that sign, stop. Stop and pay attention when you on that's on that journey, on that path. So you may not have a collision with others. That you may move in harmony. Okay? But I'm gonna leave y'all with that. All right. I am Solar Prime Supreme 131, Lazarus Lamel of the Messiah Code movement, as well as the Tuvalu tribe. And I want y'all to know that we're about to start something up very special. I have so many volunteers. I have a list of volunteers. Like, I have so many volunteers that are willing to help with the farm, and they just want to be a part of the journey. It's a lot of people that want to do internship. You know, I'll show you the list of these people. It's really a blessing to connect up with the people of North Carolina. And I want to say thank you. I can't wait for the Sundays, for when everyone's coming out here to the property, to the land, to help out with the farm, because we're going to be doing Karen's Kitchen, which is inspired by my mother. Now, again, Karen's Kitchen will provide whole food to the people. It will provide food, healthy food to the people. All right, food that will resuscitate the health benefits of what people need, truly need within the diaspora of 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 poisonous food being marketed to our children day in and day out. It's on our social media, it's everywhere. All right, so it's for us to change that diaspora. It's for us to change the narrative. It's for us to change the regime. All right, and we're starting with Karen's Kitchen. We're going to be growing food, and this same food is going to be feeding the masses. All right. Now, I'll leave a way for anyone to connect up as well. I'll put the email. If you would like to be a volunteer, you can email us. Let me put that in the comment section. See if I can do that real quick. thewalu.361@gmail.com. All right. And those for all the people that would like to be a volunteer, thewalu.361@gmail.com. If you're in the North Carolina area. All right. thewalu.361.com. At gmail.com, excuse me. I don't know where the slash came in there, but you know. The Walu was THAWALU. All right, but otherwise than that, I love y'all. 747. I'm gonna bring it out with this. I really appreciate y'all. Cool.
Welcome to the Purple Heart Squad Special Edition.
Apotheosis. I know that I'm chosen. I know that I'm potent. I keep it in motion, they ain't keep me frozen. I'm shining, I'm golden. Apotheosis. I know that I'm potent. I walk the chosen. I'm wearing these totems. I'm shining, I'm golden. I keep it in motion. Apotheosis. I know that I'm chosen. I know that I'm potent. I keep it in motion, they ain't keep me frozen. I'm shining, I'm golden. Apotheosis. I know I'm impotent. I walk the chosen. I'm wearing these totems. I'm shining, I'm golden. I keep it in motion. Apotheosis.
All right, I love y'all. This been definitely wonderful. I really appreciate the family, appreciate everybody coming in. This is very informative. We're gonna have master classes on this body of resurrection, and it's gonna go in. Peace to y'all. Peace to the family. Cool.